Hi, this is Fenocchi. Let's take a look at a few ways that you can get from one note to another. And we'll be looking at slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, releases, really slurs and ornamentations. It's going to make your phrasing of your lines enhanced a little bit, and it depends on how fast you want to play or how you want it to sound. So let's check out just a few of these examples, and we're just going to use two notes. So that's going to simplify everything, and we're going to go from this note to this note, okay? G to A, 8th fret to 10th fret on the 2nd string. You can use it just about anywhere. The only exception might be open position, where you don't have complete control over the lower note. So the idea here is from a lower note going to a higher note, and vice versa, higher note going to a lower note. Simply, you can play G to A or A to G by plucking both of them. What we want to do is kind of make it so that it sounds a little more slick. You can hammer on, okay, which sounds different than two pluck notes. Okay. The way you do this is you keep your finger on the lower note, and with the velocity of that next finger, in this case the 3rd finger, hammer down, that's going to strike the note. It's not that you have to do it fast. It is a fast articulation. You can get there fast, but you want the volume of your pluck note to equal the volume of your hammered note. And there we have it. And again, it's a fast articulation, so if you want to play a fast line, that'll help you out. You can also pluck, but it sounds staggered. So you pick and choose when you want to play your hammer-ons. Another way to get from G to A, in this case, is slide. Okay? That's another fast articulation, and it's got a nice cool phrase. Again, it sounds different than our pluck notes. Now watch out with the slide, especially if you're just starting out. What you want to do is not watch that finger slide from the G, or not to, don't watch the finger slide. What you want to do is keep your eye on the designated fret. So I'm looking at my 10th fret, and my finger will stop there, okay? And don't lift the finger up as you're sliding. You'll lose the ringing of the note. So keep that finger down on the fingerboard. It might take a few times to figure out how lightly can I actually grab that note and keeping it down on the fingerboard at the same time. And that works in reverse. Always keep your eye at the designated fret. And use whatever finger's comfortable, and whatever other fingers might be available for that next few notes that you're going to play. But it works with any finger. All right, let's look at another one. This is called the pull-off. This would be any time you want to go from a higher note to a lower note. It's the opposite of the pull-off. So I'm going from 10 to 8 in this case. And so instead of plucking, it's pulling off. So things to keep in mind here with pull-off notes is you have to have your lower note planted, have a finger planted on it. So I have a 3rd finger on 10. I'm not just lifting. That's not going to give you much power. What I'm going to do is pull across, but not too hard, because then you'll change the pitch of the note. It's almost a combination of over and up to get that articulation. That's part of what you're going to be achieving with phrasing. So that's that pull off. Okay. Now, the next and last articulation is the bend, and that's going to be it's going to be a bend and release. We're going to cover both of them. So this note we want to sound like that, but we're going to do it with a bend, okay? So you never want to bend just for the sake of, oh, I know how to bend a note. You have to bend for a reason. And in this case, we're going to bend to make it sound like the next note. So always check to see what that note you want to be bent to sounds like. So here's 8. We want it to sound like that. And that's it. And notice that you're going to have more control if you plant other fingers behind your bending finger. It's hard to bend With that first finger, you might lose the note because the tension of that string gets tighter as you bend it across. And another point is you can go either way with the bends. It's going to make the string go higher, so it's not going to be a different sound per se. But on strings 1, 2, and 3, I like to bend up or push, and strings 4, 5, and 6 pull down. You have a little bit more finger space in the middle there. So here's your bend with reinforced fingers. Okay, now here's the opposite. This is an already bent note, released. This is probably the trickiest of them all because you have to have that pre-bent note already sounding the way you want it. And then release. Keep that. That might have been a little too sharp. Practice it a few times and you'll get the idea. It's going to be a natural thing to figure out, well, how far do I have to bend this string or this string? And it's just, keep practicing and practicing and practicing. So we have our hammer on, pull off, slide, reverse slide, bend with the reinforced fingers, and pre-bend, release. Okay, so always remember to keep in tune and keep tuning in. This is Guy Fenocchi.